Why do women act crazy? Understanding Female Hormones 101. I know all of you have asked yourselves this question. Why are women so crazy? And as a woman, I'm going to explain why. Okay, it's actually very simple once you understand female hormones. And if you're going to coexist with us, you better learn this now. Okay, men run on a simple 24-hour hormonal cycle. Simple, right? You wake up, you peak, then you dip, then you sleep, and then you repeat. That is it. Simple, right? But women, on the other hand, not so simple. We run on a 28-day hormonal roller coaster. That's why you're shocked that women don't act like you do. And in that mismatch is where every what the hell is wrong with you fight starts. So today, I'm breaking it down for you guys, okay? So take some notes. I'm going to give you the raw, biological, female truth mixed with real accountability as well, okay? Because yes, hormones are real, but no, they're not a free pass for her to act like an absolute nutcase, okay? And trust me, I have been that nutcase before. Before we dive in, let's get one thing clear. This is not about poor women are slaves to their hormones, no. But it's also not about, hey men, you guys just have to suck it up and take it. No, this is about actually understanding each other so you stop fighting and start winning with each other. Okay? Because why? The strongest couples, they're not playing this emotional roller coaster, okay? They're paying attention. They're talking to each other and both giving a damn about their relationship. So, what is the main difference between men and women? And I'm speaking biologically here. Here's the truth. Men's testosterone resets every 24 hours. It's pretty steady and pretty predictable. So, from a man's side, when he feels an emotion, he feels it, he processes it, and drops it, and moves on. So, when your woman is still ruminating about something from 3 days ago, you're staring at her like she's crazy. Why are you still thinking about that? Why can't you just let it go? Right, guys? I'm sure you've had this conversation with your girl before, but this is where most of you guys completely miss the mark. Women do not feel emotions in a straight line. We feel them in layers, okay? That's like trying to tune in to 5 different radio stations playing at the same exact time. Happy, irritated, overstimulated, nostalgic, worried, anxious, all at the same damn time. You thought being a woman was easy. No it's not. Now, put her cycle into the mix, and those layers are just going to snowball. What looks like random mood swings is actually her nervous system juggling dozens of inputs while her hormones are doing backflips and cartwheels, especially in the luteal phase. When her brain's threat radar literally goes into overdrive, suddenly a small little comment feels like a personal attack. And that is when you dummies say she is being dramatic. That's like telling a guy pushing through his last rep on the bench press to chill out a little bit. Can you manage it? Sure. But you can't just flip a switch and suddenly feel nothing. But here's the other side. Just because the feeling is real doesn't mean that she gets to act on it like a wrecking ball, right? That's where women have to own it. The emotion is real, but how you express it, that is still a choice, ladies. Now, gentlemen, this is where you are going to take out your pen and your paper, and you're going to take some notes because this is real. Let's learn about all her phases, shall we? Because there's 4-period week, aka menstrual phase. Okay, her hormones bottomed out. Energy is tanked. Tolerance for anything is basically zero. We are inward. We are sensitive and we are recovering. Guys, we are bleeding and it's a ton of blood. Right here is where you royally screw it up. You either take it personally, try to fix her, or you just disappear completely. And you know what? She actually needs calm energy, maybe a little space and a lot of support. And women, you don't get to snap, disrespect, or turn it into a tornado just because you feel like crap. This comes every single month, okay? So you need to say it out loud. I'm feeling off today. I'm bleeding like a damn waterfall. I'm going nuts, and I need you to be there for me. Saying that prepares your man and saves you a lot of drama. So, let's get into the second phase. What comes after that? The follicular phase. Right after her period, she's back, baby. Okay? Energy goes up. Mood is lighter. She's more social. And she feels more like herself. This literally is your green light phase, men. Okay? So, plan the date. Bring up the hard conversation that you've been dodging and take advantage because she's actually going to be receptive now. And don't be that guy who looks at her in this phase and says, "See, This is how you should be all the time. If you say that, you just made her feel like she's only lovable when she's at her best. So don't be a dummy. Now, what phase comes after that? This is the best phase of all four. Okay, ovulation. This is peak woman mode. Confidence sky high. She feels hot, sexy, affectionate, horny, very playful. This is where your relationship feels effortless. You're going to get more intimacy, more flirting, and she might even initiate way more often. So lean into that and enjoy it. But remember, this glowing version isn't the real her, while the other phases are fake. No, it's just a season of her. Okay? Just like in nature, right? You have winter, fall, spring, and summer. Same thing. So love the whole cycle or you'll lose the whole woman. And the last phase, every woman's least favorite. Okay? And probably every man's least favorite if you know about it. We're talking about the luteal phase. Okay? This is the one women have been trying to explain to you men for years. And it always sounds insane because it is. How do you describe a feeling that does not follow logic? That is like trying to explain color to a colorblind person. It just doesn't make sense, right? So, what's happening biologically? Her progesterone and estrogen drop. Her threat detectors, they go through the freaking roof, and her nervous system gets overwhelmed, and she is on alert. That thing that he said Tuesday that she let slide. Yeah, she didn't let it slide. It is back with receipts. So, get ready. Every woman watching this right now knows that exact moment. Okay? Crying in the car, and you don't even know why. Or one little tiny comment that hits her like a slap in the face. No, it's not made up. No, it is not a weakness. It is just biology, but it's amplified during this phase. So men, listen to me. This isn't her being irrational just because. Okay, the needle on her nervous system is just turned all the way to red. Okay, your job isn't to argue or tell her that she's overreacting. If you do that, get ready for what's to come. Your job is to stay grounded while she can't because in that phase, it is so hard to stay regulated. Okay, but women, you need to understand that this does not ever give you a hall pass to just blow everything up. It gives you the power to actually catch yourself before you turn into a demon. Okay? So, know your face, warn him, have a plan, give yourself some grace, but not so much that you stop acting like an adult. Now, let me get real with you for a second, okay? In my luteal phase, I turn into a complete psycho. Or like my husband likes to say, I turn into a David Lynch movie. And if you know who David Lynch is and you know his movies, you're going to get the reference. I am either angry or extremely emotional. Everything is too much. I cry too much. And if my husband breathes in the wrong volume or direction, it's basically a crime. But the funniest part, he's learned to look at me with this silly little voice and say, "Honey, are we feeling a little violent and funky today?" Or he says, "Oh, here she is. We're having crying Lauren this time." Half of the time I laugh. I burst out in laughter. The other half of the time I want to punch him in the face. But even when it pisses me off more, I let it go faster because I know he's right and he's not fighting me or walking on eggshells. He's calling me out when I need to be called out. Okay. Then he does his magic. He comes down to my level, gives me a huge, huge hug like I'm a pissed off toddler. Kisses me and feeds me. Whether it's ice cream or chocolate or whatever, he feeds me. Gives me food, hug, affection, ice cream, chocolate, food, one of the three. That is the whole damn formula. Okay, men, write it down and tape it to the fridge. So, now you're probably asking, well, how the hell do I even recognize which season or phase she's in? You don't need a PhD in hormones. Just pay attention. She's literally already telling you. You're just not reading the signs or her energy. So let's break it down really quick again. Okay, little refresher. Menstrual phase, quieter, withdrawn, moving slow, wants comfort, but not deep talks and constant touching. Okay, if she's short with you, it's probably not about you. Just stay calm. Follicular, she is back, baby. And lighter, talkative, wants to make plans, connect with you. That is literally your green light. Okay, have the hard conversation now, then ovulation. She is glowing, confident, affectionate, sexy. You will feel it. Lean into that hard. have a lot of crazy, wild sex. Do it. And then her luteal phase. This is a warning phase. Small things will bother her. She is way more critical, way more sensitive to you and your tone. Burst of anger, crying for no reason. And that resolved issue from last week, it is about to make a comeback. So get ready. Here's a pro tip that will literally make you a genius to her. Download a cycle app like Flow or Clue and ask her to share it with you. You open it, you see the phase, and suddenly you're not guessing anymore. You are informed instead of fighting the storm. You bring an umbrella, okay? Looks like emotional intelligence to me, and it feels like winning to you. Men, please understand this. Her emotions are real, even when they make literally no sense to you, okay? Your job isn't to fix every feeling that she's feeling. It's just to stay grounded and steady with her. If you get reactive too, now you got two chaotic people and zero solutions. Lead by staying calm. But that doesn't mean allowing or swallowing disrespect. You can say to her literally, "Listen, honey, I hear you. I know something is off. I know something's happening, but I'm not participating in this. If this turns nasty, that is not you being cold. That is called leadership. Been having a boundary too, okay? There needs to be some balance. And ladies, believe me that I'm on your side. But I'm not going to lie to you. Your emotions, should I say our emotions, they're valid. But our behavior is still our responsibility. Okay? You cannot expect him to lead and ground you. If you're constantly turning the house into a war zone every single month, because this happens every single month, we know it's coming. So we can't use that as an excuse. Track your cycle. Communicate before the storm hits. Own it when you cross the line. And remember, a regulated woman is an unstoppable woman. I really hope you understand that this isn't just about hormones. It's about emotional intelligence, self-awareness, and building something that actually lasts. When it's done right, he feels respected and she feels safe. Both of you feel valued, and that's not a fairy tale. That's what happens when two adults decide to start understanding each other instead of just complaining about each other. So, no, women are not crazy. Some of them are, but you know what I mean. And men, you aren't clueless. Some of you are, but when you don't understand the cycles, it sure as hell feels that way every single month, okay? So, learn the cycles. Call out the mood shifts. Always keep your standards high. The couples that actually win aren't the ones who avoid the hard stuff, guys, okay? They're the ones who they know how to move through it together. Most people want a great relationship, right? But very few are willing to actually understand the person that they're with. So now you've watched this video, you don't have an excuse. I hope you took some notes. If this video resonated with you, please drop a comment and tell me which phase wrecks you the most. I already know what most of you are going to say, okay? Please do me a favor and send this to your partner right now. Seriously, just share it. And if you want more real talk on relationships and mindset that actually work, stick around and subscribe because we are just getting started, my friends. Music.